morning, friends. How are you all doing? Hope everyone is fantastic. I know I'm sitting here looking out the window the day after Easter, y'all. Day after Easter, April 18th, and it's snowing. We're supposed to get like 3 to 6 inches of snow up here in Michigan. Y'all, I think it is time for me to visit somewhere warmer. I am so ready for summer, for spring to really be here. So anyway, that's what's happening in my universe. Make sure you go ahead and grab yourself a couple of oils. I'm going to grab some Juniper. We're going to talk about Juniper a lot today. So I'm going to grab that one. I will tell you, for those of you who have never experienced Juniper, Juniper is a very, it's a pine, right? And it's from the cypress family. And it has a delicious, it has the pine aroma, but it almost has like a citrus flavor underneath it, aroma flavor. I didn't just lick it, but that's what you got going on in your Juniper. So I'm breathing that in. And anytime you're using any of our tree oils, think strength, think power, think that stability that you have going on with trees. That's what you want to think about. Then I'm going to grab some lemon. Lemon and frankincense are a phenomenal combination with the whole topic we're going to be discussing today. I got my lemon. I'm going to breathe that in. And as you're coming on, make sure you're telling me where you're from and what's your weather like. Tell me your temp. Tell me if it's rainy. Tell me what you have going on. So if you're in the snow too, I will know that as well. So tell me your weather, and then tell me what oils you're using right now, and then tell me what's in your diffuser. Like, I've got cinnamon going in my diffuser. It's cold. It feels like fall. I can have cinnamon going if I want to. It's actually cinnamon tangerine because I love that combination together. And then I'm gonna do peppermint. Y'all knew I was gonna end up reaching for peppermint. It's like the one that I go for all the time. Oh, I love my peppermint. All right, so I'm gonna see if we've got comments. See what's going on. Hello, friends. Yay. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I do. I see some. I found you guys. I know why I can't see you guys. It's way down low on the screen. That is why. So I will keep sliding down there. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is our Sensational Supplement series, and we are covering K&B Tincture. So if you're not familiar with what tinctures are, and you've heard us discuss them, I'm going to go into that so you'll know a little bit. I'm also going to talk about the different ways. So there's so many different, we've got essential oils, we've got supplements, there's teas. Like, what's the difference between all those, and the difference between tinctures? Why do we have all the different things? I figured this might be a good time to fit that in. So I have my handy dandy notes, and somebody asked me if I would post my notes after my classes, and I will, but here's the catch. My notes are not traditional notes. Like, it's more like an outline of what I'm going to say, so you can have it. I don't know that it'll help a whole lot. It's just stuff to help me trigger to remember the different things that I wanted to share with you. But I'll pop them in here for you guys if you want them. So first off, this is our K&B Tincture. Oh, I can't see it very well, can you? Where do we go? K&B. So this is our tincture, and on the bottle it says supports healthy kidney and bladder function. So one of the cool things about all of our products is it does tell you exactly what they're for. So with a tincture, you're going to notice that it's a dark bottle. You always want to have your tinctures in dark. It helps so that they don't get oxidized, that the sunlight doesn't get in there. And then, so you know, tinctures last for, I don't know if these have expiration dates on them. I really don't check. But they last for years because the way that they're made. And originally, tinctures were a really good way to preserve food. So it was a part of the preservation of food, and we'll go over what they do and how they do. But I want you to notice with the tincture, you're always going to shake it up because there's actual plant matter that makes the tincture. So you can get little bibbits of stuff in the bottom if you don't shake it. So make sure you shake it. It remixes. Put your essential oils and everything back in there. And then you're going to notice, see how it's a dark fluid? It's pretty much clear, but it's dark. And that is because all the broken down plant matter is in here. So when you look at it and you're like, oh, why does it look so dark? That's why. And you're going to notice, like, at the very tip of it, see how I don't know if y'all can see, but there's like a dark spot there. Sometimes that will have little pieces of plant matter in here because, again, it's plants that are broken down in here. So when you read the directions, it's going to say 3 half droppers. And that's because a normal dropper, so you know when you squeeze a dropper in like this, that's about 1 mil. But people look at it and they go, that's not a full dropper. So the verbiage says half a dropper because that's how much it squeezes in and out. But that's about 1 mil. So when you take this, you're taking about 3 milliliters each time. And the directions on the bottle will tell you it is 3 milliliters or 3 half droppers 3 times a day. But again, something is better than nothing. If you know you just want to give overall love and support to your kidney and bladder, you just want to put 1 squirt, you know, like I always tell you guys about my red drink, right? So if you want to put 1 squirt in your red drink a day just to make sure your kidneys and bladder are getting some goodness, you can do that as well. If you know it needs a little more TLC for a season, then you can pop it up to that 3 times a day. So that gives you a little bit of an overview. And when you smell a tincture, it's always got, tinctures do not taste good. They're a blend of alcohol, oils, and the plant matter that's in here. So they don't have a good flavor. That's why I like to mix mine in something. A lot of people will just take it tinctures and put directly under their tongue. That's too hot for me. I don't care for that. So that's not how I do it. But you can do it however you want. You can also just put it in a little bit of water, or water in like a shot glass. That would work as well. So you have lots of little options that you can do there. So let's go over what is a tincture, how's it different from essential oils or teas, and why do we use them? So any herb can be turned into a tincture, and it can be the whole plant, it can be the root, it can be the seeds, it can be the berry, any. And what they do with the tincture, like if you wanted to make your own tincture, anything we talk about, you're like, oh, I'd like to do that. You can take, you know, like your dandelions in your yard that you know haven't had any chemicals sprayed on them, and you can take those and fill like a mason jar full of the plants, wash them, fill it up about 3/4 of the way, and then you pour either alcohol or vinegar in there, and you make sure it's completely covered. You're going to put something like a cheesecloth over the top of it, tighten the lid, put it in a dark place, and you're going to let it sit for 6 to 8 weeks. And what happens with the alcohol or the vinegar is it begins breaking down all of the plant matter, but holding on to all of the nutrients. It gets infused into the liquid itself. And then after 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to take it, 8 weeks being a little bit better, you're going to take it and you're going to drain it multiple times so that you're getting all the plant matter out, all of the parts and pieces, and you're just left with all of the nutrients that are now infused into the alcohol or the vinegar. And the difference is alcohol really does break down things better, things like roots, and you get more extraction, but there's some people that are can't do alcohol of any kind, whether it's because they're an alcoholic and they don't even want bibbits of it, or because of religion. So you can switch that out for vinegar. There's a couple other ways you can just make your own tinctures, and you can go online and type, how do I make a tincture? And you can just make your own tinctures. When we were out of K&B for a long time, I made my own batches of K&B because it's one that I have to have. I use K&B because it just continues to give that love and support. I had kidney failure going through all of the stuff I went through a few years ago being in the hospital, and all the drugs. Drugs are really hard on your body, but it saved my life, so I'm not angry about that, but I had to love and give TLC back to my body, and K&B is just one of those because it's so supportive of the kidney and bladder. It's food. When you think of a tincture, I want you to think this is food. In this bottle, there is juniper berries, there is parsley, there is dandelion. These are all foods that are broken down so that I can absorb them so my body can do what it wants to do with them. That's all that you're looking at with a tincture. So, for example, you can, so that's making a tincture. You can also do a tea. So you can take juniper berries. Juniper berries have been used historically throughout time for kidney support and love. But juniper berries, you can literally, juniper berry is actually the seeds from the cone so that the juniper tree, the bush, shrub can grow, right? So you can take those juniper berries and you can put them in one of the little tea balls, and you can put that into a coffee cup or teacup, and you can pour hot water over it, and you can let it steep for 15 minutes or so, and you're going to get so much goodness out of that. Like, juniper is super loving to the kidneys and the urinary tract, and it helps with a normal inflammatory response. Like, juniper is, and it tastes good. When I say it reminds me of the flavor of, like I said, it's got a earthy, lemony, citrusy flavor to me. So, and people do juniper tea, and you can make your own juniper tea, get all kinds of goodness out of it. And then you have essential oils. Essential oils, so you understand the difference. Tea is the plant matter, so you could use the leaves, the pine needles, you could use dandelion root, you can use dandelion flowers, you can do dandelion greens, and you can make teas out of all those things. You can dry them so that it's just the dried out plant matter, which actually kind of concentrates some of the nutrients. You lose some and you gain some when you dry them. But the same thing is true of using it in a tincture. There's some of the vitamins you get a little less of because as they break down, the vitamins break down. But there's other parts and pieces that you get because they actually get concentrated into the liquid. Same thing is true with essential oils. When you take peppermint, like we all love peppermint, right? So the difference between a tincture and an essential oil is a tincture uses the whole plant matter and it breaks it down, and in the bottle you've got vitamins, you've got minerals, you've got the plant matter, all the constituents. With an essential oil, it takes way more plant matter, and then it is distilled with just water, and that water goes through, and each plant has a different temperature that it needs. It has a different length of time that it has to be distilled, and you can only do that with aromatic plants. So there's some plants that aren't aromatic, like you're not going to get the aroma from it. That's where the essential oil comes from. And those oils, when they're distilled, the water separates and you've got the oil on top, and it's hugely concentrated. You're getting huge mega doses of all those parts and pieces. Those constituents are in your essential oils. And so they separate, and then the water below, so you know, is called a hydrosol. And the hydrosol, like we've got the sandalwood hydrosol that everybody loves for their face, for putting in their hair and all the different things. That's a hydrosol. So what Young Living does is we take all that plant matter and we distill it for the right amount of time. We are patient with it. We use the right parts of the plant, because sometimes you use roots, sometimes you use seeds, sometimes you use leaves. It just depends on which part has the constituents that we're looking for. So we use, and all of them are good. Like the tea, good. It is an herb. It's got good stuff in there. Plant matter is always a good thing. We've got tinctures. They're good. They work a different way when they're mixed with the alcohol, because a tincture has either the alcohol or the distilled vinegar. Alcohol is a good carrier because alcohol absorbs super quick into the body. So when you take a tincture, it's a little bit, like I said, the flavor's not great, but it absorbs starting right in the mouth. We start with absorption going in, then it goes through and absorbs through the gut, through the small intestines, and you're getting quick absorption. It's a carrier. So it holds on to all of those different molecules and takes it into our body. That's how the tincture works. Essential oils they can put on topically. We can breathe them in. Right now I'm breathing that in, and those molecules are going through my body and they're doing what they're designed to do. So each one is good. They're just all a little bit different. So on the list of how you want to do it, and then let's just talk fresh, right? So if you've got parsley and you start adding parsley to your meals, like it's a very inexpensive herb that you can throw into anything that you're cooking. And it's got so many nutrients in there that are good for your clarity. They are good for energy. They are good for cleansing. They go through, and the parsley is a natural diuretic. So when you're adding it to your food, it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. So you can add it to a roast, you can add it to your chops, you can add it to your salads, you can add it to all these different things. And it's good. Like there's nutrients inside that parsley. It's high in lutein and zeaxanthin, which are those dark greens that are so healthy for our body. And you can add them in fresh, you can add them in dehydrated, you can turn parsley into a tea, add it to another tea, put it in a tincture, or distill it. So there's no wrong way. I just thought maybe understanding the difference between them will help you to see when and where you want to use the different things. So I'm going to give you this. I thought was really cool. Oh, I already said that. What else do we got? Oil glands. You guys, I went through my first page already and did not even look at my notes. That is exciting. So like I said, you've got your tea steeps for, you know, a few minutes. You've got a tincture that's in there for 6 to 8 weeks. There's a difference in the amount of nutrients that you're going to get out of that. Just like there's a difference in the amount of nutrients that you get out of eating a fresh herb versus a dehydrated. I don't know if you know, but some of the stuff in the dehydrated is really elevated because it's concentrated. And that's what happens when you're talking about your oils. It's a concentrated source. So I want to talk about what's exactly in our K&B. So the first thing is juniper berry, and all of these are called an extract. So any of the herbs that are in there are an extract because we extracted the nutrients out of the plant matter. So juniper berry. Historically, the Zuni Indians used juniper to assist in childbirth. The British herbalist used it to treat congestive heart failure and stimulate menstruation. American 19th century herbalists used it to treat congestive heart failure, gonorrhea, urinary tract infections. So historically, it's been used for all kinds of crazy things, right? But the truth is, right now, what the modern uses of juniper are, is that it's super supportive to your bladder, your kidney, your urinary tract, the entire system. It's primarily used as a diuretic. So it helps with fluid being where it's supposed to be. So if you've got excess fluid, it helps to keep that balance. It helps to, that's juniper. So that juniper tea we were talking about, if you're feeling a little bloated or puffy, you could drink a cup of juniper tea and see how that works for you. The oil of juniper, which it's a very oily seed, that oil helps, again, it's with that filtration, keeping the kidney moving and keeping the fluid going, keeping urinary flow like it's supposed to. So it keeps the healthy body nice and healthy. Then you've got parsley leaf extract. Parsley leaf, think of it as cranberry's big brother. So if you used to reach for cranberry juice when you needed a little support with your kidneys, parsley, because of the amount of beta carotenes that are in there, it is phenomenal. It's got huge amounts of vitamin K, A, C. Like parsley is a powerhouse antioxidant, and you can, again, throw parsley in everything that you're eating, but that parsley extract is in our K&B because of its amazing cleansing properties. It's going to go through and really support your bladder. It's going to support your kidneys, the urinary tract, that flow that we're supposed to have. It's just super supportive. Let's see, ursi, that's one you probably aren't very familiar with. This is a teeny tiny small shrub that has been used for centuries, and it's been used for centuries for kidneys because it's super supportive. It's got different constituents and parts in there that help to support that cleansing properties that we're talking about. And one of the constituents actually goes through the body, and think of it as like a little scrub brush that goes in there. And it's already in there. It's not something we typically do. It's high in something called tannins. Tannins are in things like red wine. And when you eat like a pomegranate and it gives you that sucky, because what's happening is all the fluid is being drawn out. So the tannins help with that flow of fluids going on. And that is a part of what is in the yuba ursi. Then you've got dandelion root. Dandelion root has, like everybody knows, dandelion root is good for cleansing, and it's good for the liver, and it's good for the gut, and it's good for your kidneys and your bladder. Again, it's a really mild diuretic, so it helps with just keeping our fluid flowing like it's supposed to. That's part of the kidney's job, is to keep that flow, and we're looking for that healthy flow going on. Then it has royal jelly. You'll remember royal jelly was when we talked about mineral essence and high in antioxidants, high in all these amazing things. But part of what the royal jelly does is it partners with the nutrients, and it's a carrier. So it helps to emulsify it so it all stays, it doesn't separate so much. Like I said, you're gonna shake it. Royal jelly helps with that. And think about royal jelly, they feed to the queen bee, and she lives for years where the worker bees live for 45 days. Royal jelly is that separated. It's the antioxidants. It's going to go in there and help so we have normal cellular function going on. Normal, that snow, y'all. Every time I look out there, I'm sad about the snow. Sorry. We're talking about normal inflammatory response as part of royal jelly's job. And it's already in the container. You can actually get tinctures of just royal jelly because it's so potent and it's been, again, used for centuries. Royal jelly is like the food of the gods. It's one of those things. And then we have all of the essential oils that are in there. So one of the cool things that I love that Gary did when he created this blend is he took the plant matter. So he took the power of tinctures and he added to that the power of the essential oils added back in. And you'll notice that with all of our supplements, there's oils added in because oils just help to maximize the absorption. They help things get where they go. They're teeny tiny molecules that our body can absorb, starting right from when we smell the aroma into the mouth, all the way down, we're absorbing that. And one of the essential oils that's in there is our juniper essential oil. So the juniper berries, plant matter, and then Gary added the oil back in. So everything that we talked about, that juniper essential oil there is a detoxifier, it's a cleanser, it's going to help with that flow of fluids like we talked about. It's also super supportive of your skin if you're wanting to use that topically. Then we've got German chamomile. This is, again, nourishing for the skin. The oil itself has a component called, oh, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Chamomile, I think it is, which is super supportive to our natural responses, the way inflammation is supposed to happen. So it gives our body the ability to handle the normal everyday things. So, you know, we've talked about that in the past, how it's helping with the normal healthy response. Then fennel essential oil. You know, fennel is one of my favorites. I talk about fennel a lot for what it does for us being able to speak our own truth using fennel essential oil, fennel tea, and using it in this area where we end up with lots of blockages through the years. We're told so many times, shut up, nothing you have to say is important, kids are to be seen, not heard, you're stupid, all those things, and we forget how to speak our truth, who we are, and fennel helps to open up that blockage. I know for some of you right now, you're like, oh, Shannon's doing the woo-woo, but listen, I have felt the experience of fennel. And fennel essential oil is in here, but I also believe it's an oil that you need to own. It's like a $20 oil. Rub that on a regular basis. I'm telling you, you deserve that freedom. So it's also really good for the circulatory, glandular, respiratory, digestive. It's just one of those that just kind of gives a little love and support to so many different areas in your body. Geranium. Geranium is kind of like, it's like a relaxer. It's good to the circulatory and nervous. It just helps you to have that calm that's supposed to happen. It is very loving to your kidneys and your bladder, urinary tract, that whole system in there. It's phenomenal for there. Sage essential oil. This one is super, like, I don't know if you've played with sage before, but it's super uplifting. Like mentally, it is uplifting. It helps with that mental fatigue that happens. It strengthens your senses. It's just metabolism. It's great for metabolism, supportive of your respiratory, reproductive, nervous, just like a host of different things. And that's just sage essential oil. Again, you're eating it, it's coming in your bottle, you're getting it internally, and it's just giving a little love to every single cell in the body. We've got clove. Clove helps support a normal, healthy immune system, just so your body can take care of itself the way it's supposed to. Roman chamomile, inner peace. Inner peace, right? Roman chamomile, it's very calming. It's calming for everybody. It is anything in your system, it helps to calm it down. There's a reason why it's in our K&B. It's very calming to anything. And again, it's super easy. You can just take this, take a dropper full, put it in your, I wouldn't like put it in your glass of water, because my guess is you're not going to drink your water once it's in there, because it does have a bit of a bitter flavor. But when I seriously, I put my little red drink. One of these days I'm just going to do a video on what's in my red drink. But it's my Tincture Red, it is my Amino Wise, it has my golden turmeric, it has iodine, it has my K&B. I have to take Rahimogen because some of the issues that I have. That's in here. Gosh, what else is in here? Just a host of stuff. And then any oils, I'll just pop any of my Vitality oils and I put them in there. And what happens is, because the golden turmeric, your Amino Wise, your Tincture Red, those are all sweeter. And when I put in the tinctures, they bring it down a note so it's not so sweet, because I feel like this can get sickeningly sweet when you have all of that. Oh, it's got my sulfurs in here. What else? Gosh, if it's a powder or a liquid, I usually put it in my drink. And I drink one in the morning, and then my ICP Daily is also in here. I drink one in the morning, and then I usually have one before bed. That's a little bit different. It's got some other stuff in there, magnesium and stuff. But I put my tinctures in there, and it makes it a lot better. I, for years, did or if I'm doing keto, if I'm ketoing or water fasting, I can't do this. It upsets my belly because it's way too sweet when you're not eating anything like that. So I just put these in my water, and I do a little shot glass, and I put all the stuff that I can take when I'm ketoing or watering, and I put it all in there, and then I just slam it and I take it. I figure I did worse when I was a young lady. So it just helps. So it's all my good stuff. So if you have any questions, I'm going to look down here real quick, see if there's any quick questions. I don't see. All right, guys. I will look at questions over the next few days, answer questions. You can also always shoot me a message if I missed your question that you have. All right, you guys, God bless. We'll say, hey, if you are in the Michigan area, plan on coming next weekend. We've got so many cool things going on. We've got a 2-day seminar, 2 days. We're going to be right here in Michigan. You can find the links on my page. We've got corporate coming in. We've got 22 different speakers. Yes, 22 different speakers coming. And you are invited to come. We would love to have you. It doesn't matter whose team you're with. We will love on you and take care of you. All right, you guys. See you at the next whatever. God bless.